Well, let me talk about, just for a few minutes, about the last building project that we had here at Carrubbers. I arrived in 91. In 80, it was around about 89, the church had decided that they were going to refurbish the whole place for what was then a project that was called Carrubbers into the 90s. So Carrubbers into the 90s was an ambitious project for a small group of people. There was probably no more than about 30, 40 people maybe around at that time. And they took on a big project, way more than certainly they could support themselves in their own giving. But that was Carrubbers into the 90s, and basically what they did was they refurbished the building from top to bottom, painting, carpets. The idea was to begin to prepare Carrubbers for growth, to reach out more into the city. It had this huge mission history, and now the church was beginning to grow. Young people were starting to come along, so they were thinking about young people, they were thinking about Sunday school, they were talking about kids' work. The free breakfast work was still going at that time. It still is now, in fact. And just a huge amount of work to try and really get a premises purpose fit for what they saw the ministry growing into, really in the years ahead into the 90s. The biggest part, without a doubt, of the refurbishment was to floor off what was then the gallery. It was an old Victorian kind of style building with a big main floor, gallery around the top or on the outside. And they just floored off the gallery, made 2 floors for just loads more ministry space. And then the lower floor became an activities hall, cafe, offices, toilets, different things downstairs. And then the main hall became what is now our main sanctuary. And we had this new building, this new premises, loads of opportunities. And that's just been a really incredible place to have, really, for the last 30 years. Over those 30 years, the work has grown, the work has changed, the city's changed, the demographic has changed. Probably one of the biggest things that started to happen for us in the early 90s was students started to come along, and a crowd draws a crowd, and we've, as a church, one of our main areas of ministry has just been to teach the Word. Our belief is that the Word of God is powerful, it's effective, it's like a two-edged sword. It brings salvation to the soul through faith and trust in Christ. And we've just always had a very strong Bible teaching ministry at Carrubbers. And I think students have appreciated that. They've appreciated how we've dealt with the truth, how we've dealt with the Word, how we've tried to take a bit of a no-nonsense approach to ministry, and the student work over the years has really grown, and that's become one of our main areas of ministry. We've had our first associate pastor, Dave Anderson, came to really take up the student work and grow the student work, and Dave was then followed by a succession of guys, and to this day, now we've got pastor in training, Sean Brennan. So we've really been, I think we've benefited from the students. It's provided for us a really unique dynamic in the sense that with students who are here only for a short time, and the changeover really is every 4 years. So basically every 4 years, Carrubbers is a bit of a new church. And there's a challenge in that because you have to really work hard to invest in the lives of the people that you have, to make disciples, and then these people, they're gone, maybe other parts of the world, and we get a whole new crop of people coming in on an annual basis. So challenging, but really exciting, and that's been a huge part of our work. The children's work has grown, families have increased. A lot of these students have left their studies and they've loved Edinburgh, they've loved the church, they've stayed in Edinburgh, and that's just kind of continued to grow and populate the church in a certain way. Probably the big thing I think that's been happening more recently is just that the whole demographic of the city, if not the nation, has been changing, and we've just become far more multi-ethnic and multicultural over the last probably 10, 15 years. And maybe one of the most exciting things that we've seen happen here at Carrubbers has just been the development of far more of a multi-ethnic, multicultural community of God's people here. I think one of the big things that happened obviously in 2019 and People's Republic of China re-annexed Hong Kong, and there's been a mass exodus from Hong Kong, and we've had a few people here for years, a couple of missionaries who really have helped us become a place to welcome and to support and to engage with just a huge number of families and men and women who've been moving to Edinburgh from Hong Kong. And so that's become a huge part of our work now. Obviously, the last few years there was COVID and all that. And as we came back from COVID, we began to realize that we were just coming back to a very, very different church. So different, challenging, but hugely encouraging, massively exciting, because now we literally are touching the world. I mean, you know, we used to talk about that during the festival, and during the festival in August, just people come from all over the world, and you know, we get an opportunity to share the gospel with people from literally all over the world. Now that's becoming more a real part of who we are as a church. And so that's where maybe some of the challenge for us lies in the years ahead. How are we going to deal with that? How's that going to look? How are we going to continue to minister into that kind of a context? And so now we're in this whole new realm of Project 140, and now another, after 33 years, undertaking a new approach to refurbishing the building again with a whole new set of parameters and just a whole new exciting possibilities that lie in front of us.